Clock's running, no clapping. Okay, I want everyone to stand up right now quickly. I've only got so much time. Everybody up, 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 up. Okay, all right. Here's what I want you to do. We're going to start this journey like I always do, whether we're on the Riviera or we're in Rwanda. I want everyone to turn to the right. Put your hands on the shoulders of the person that you find there. Okay, if you're on, come on, no laughing. The clock is running. I'm dead. Okay, so we have people on this side. If you have no shoulders in your arms, seriously, I want you to imagine that you have a veteran in your hands. Not that kind of veteran. Okay. Those of you over here, I want you to imagine that you have a veteran in your arms. Let's go. Okay. You guys are way too noisy. Okay, slowly come to a stop despite the sexual polarization. Okay, go this way. Okay, slowly come to stop. Thank the people on either side of you. All right. Quickly, sit down. Don't take this off my time. This is their fault. Okay. You guys are hopeless. I deal with middle school kids, and they're not that noisy. I was going to attempt to ask you to be quiet, but I gave up on the first turn. Ideas worth spreading. Welcome to my neighborhood. I'm a teacher. You're way quieter than they are now. Every day the future comes into my classroom. Parents drop off their kids and trust that I'll infect their precious ones with ideas. I always start my class with a story, and today I'd like to tell you a story of a little girl named Anna. Anna came into my life the fall after my wife and I took our first bike trip across America with a group of middle school kids. Anna's face had dancing freckles and eyes glimmering with endless possibilities, and she came right up to me the first day of class and she said, "John, where are you going to take kids this summer?" I said, "Well, we're pregnant, so I got to stay a little closer to home. We're going to ride the Big Sur coast." She goes, "Oh, is that road they show in commercials with the bridges and stuff?" I go, "Yeah, that's the road." "Cool, can I go?" I said, "You better ask your mom." Her mom had nothing, didn't want anything to do with it. She said, "Big Sur, Highway 1, that's crazy to drive in a car, let alone ride a bike. I'm not going to let you go and get killed on your bicycle." Anna didn't put up with that. She pestered, and by January, she had permission to go. Our first night we spent on a church floor in Carmel, and we decided to go out for pizza and a movie. The marquee said, "Robin Williams, The Dead Poets Society." I had no idea what the film was about. When the film was over, Anna came running out to the parking lot. She grabbed onto my hand and she held on and she said, "John, thank you for taking us to that movie. I really love that part when, oh, Captain, my captain, Mr. Keating, told the boys to gather you rosebuds while you may, to seize the day, because you never know when you're going to be called to be food for the flowers." I really like that part. And those words, "Carpe Diem," as soon as I get back to the church, I'm going to write those in my journal. We got home, she was safe. The next September came around and I announced our trip coming up the following summer. We were going to ride with the Pilgrims and Paul Revere and the Witches of Salem in New England for 3 weeks. Anna was all over it. Her mom was not. 3 weeks this time on the other coast of the country? You're going to bike through Boston? Do you realize Boston has the craziest drivers on the face of the planet? Anna lobbied, and by President's Day, she was signed up. Anna gathered lots of rosebuds in New England that summer, from Provincetown up to Portland, Maine. Mr. Keating's words weren't just words in her journal, they were etched on her heart. But the scene I remember the most is coming home in the airplane. She had our firstborn in her lap, and she was reading him her favorite book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. And this is the very one. Anna went on to high school, setting the world on fire. I heard her only problem was that there weren't enough hours in the day. A couple of falls later, I got a phone call. It was a Sunday night. It was Anna's mom. She said, "John, can you come to the hospital? Anna's been in an accident." or in the ICU. I got to the intensive care unit and I found out that Anna was in a coma. Her parents were a wreck. I peeked through the portal there at intensive care and I saw those freckles all bandaged up, those endless possibilities all hooked up with wires and tubes, and I was a wreck too. Middle of the week, Anna's mom said, can we go for a walk? I said, yeah. She goes, John, remember those times Anna tried to convince me to let her go to faraway places and I told her she couldn't go because I didn't want her to get killed in some distant land on a bicycle? Remember how she would argue and say stupid things like, "Carpe diem, Mom, you got to get it while you can." I think she must have known something we didn't, John. Because it was a sunny afternoon. It was less than a mile from home. It was a brand new car with seat belts and airbags. Really good kids in the car, really good kids drinking soda on a study break, and now my daughter's not going to see her high school graduation. I just wanted to thank you for helping her seize the moments that she could. A couple of sunrises. Next morning, I showed up at the hospital with Anna's book. I don't think I got through it. A couple days later, we were on Grass Mountain up in the valley, spreading Anna's ashes on Grass Mountain, where her ashes are now food for the poppies and lupins that bloom there in the springtime. A couple of sunrises later, her dad met me underneath a huge sycamore tree at my school known as Ethan's Tree. It's where the kids would always start their first rides with me, Anna being one of them. We had a shovel and a pick and a post hole digger and a giant Caltrans Carpe Diem sign. First one I think that it was ever made. I've had one in my classroom ever since. Anna's favorite scene in the Dead Poets Society ends like this. The boys are leaning down into the trophy case, you know the scene, and Professor Keating is over their shoulders telling them to listen to the legacy those long-gone alumni are whispering, and then it breaks to the boys going out the door. They've got their books cradled in their arms into the sunlight, and they're talking about this crazy English teacher they have. This one guy named Cameron, his tie is real tight, and he pokes in and he says, "Yeah, but do you think we're going to be tested on this?" I always get that same reaction. We can't talk about the day because the clock is running, but I do think we're going to be tested on that. I think we, the less than 1%, a lot less than 1% of the global neighborhood who are blessed to be in this place today, have a test that we have to take every day. And it's timed, only we don't know what it says on the clock. And our paths, however less traveled, are overgrown with rosebuds, teeming with opportunities, full of horizons and full of means. And I feel that it's our responsibility and our freedom, it's our blessing and our burden to seize the day. I hope my kids leave my classroom realizing that. I hope that you will too. So, knowing that you've got an exam coming up, I wanted to give you some practice. So I was riding my bike to school as I do every morning, and I was coming down Shoreline along Ledbetter. It was early, the sun was just coming up, and I'm riding it. And there's this bright light right in the middle of my path, and I get closer, and I see that it's this brand new penny, and I steer around it, and I just get past it, and all of a sudden there's this knocking on my shoulder, and it was Anna's voice. "You hypocrite! You're going to preach about seizing the day and gathering flowers, and you're going to ride right past that stinking penny? Are you kidding me? You're going to tell my story and keep going? Dude, are you for real?" So I got to the harbor, and I ripped a U-turn, and I said a prayer all the way back to the Shoreline Cafe, praying that that penny would be there. Lucky for me, it was. Lucky for me, Anna and her heavenly conspirators gave me permission to be here today. So, to prepare you for the exam, the sky, the earth, the ocean, the speakers and I have spread magic across the Music Academy today. Some of you have already bent down and picked yours up. Some of you who have read ahead even ripped a U-turn to do that. So, whether or not you have, I hope you leave here, and I'm almost done, Eric, with two things that you can do. One, when you step out that door, before you even step out that door, that you turn to your left or you turn to your right and you find the person next to you and you try to make them feel better than when they found you. That's number one. If you finish that, and maybe you won't even finish that, then I hope you'll be ready to listen to this new little angel you have on your shoulder. This crazy little girl who will drive you happy, whispering, "Carpe diem," every time she leaves a magic penny in your path. And I think if you do that, then the answers in your final exam blue book will sparkle. And I think those heavenly proctors, and more importantly, you, will be happy with your answers. And as Ted suggests, and the Magic Penny song and Anna do, I think that's an idea very worth spreading. Thank you very much.